Hi everyone, welcome back to SkillUp Edu. I'm Maya Khan, your host, IELTS coach, and yes, once I missed my required band by 0.5 in writing, so I know exactly what late night panic feels like. Today we're talking about something that honestly felt like a small miracle when it rolled out. IELTS One Skill Retake. And I've got Dr. Daniel Hughes with me to walk us through the details. Hi Daniel.
Hi Maya, hi listeners. Thank you for having me. I'm Daniel Hughes, an IELTS assessment specialist and former country exams manager. I've worked on rolling out computer-based IELTS and One Skill Retake, so I'll try to make this as clear as possible.
Great. So let's begin with the problem most students have faced for years. You get 3 great scores and then, bam, 1 week skill spoils the plan. Imagine listening 8.0, reading 7.5, speaking 7.0, and writing 6.0 when your program needs 7.0 across the board. Before OSR, your only option was to retake all 4 skills, pay full price, wait, and hope for a better day. That's painful, especially with visa deadlines, scholarships, CAS, or job offers looming.
Yeah, and to add, that was particularly hard on people who are strong overall but had one bad day, or busy professionals who cannot afford the time for a full retake. One Skill Retake was developed to give a focused second chance without asking people to repeat the entire test.
So let's get the headline out first. In simple terms, what is One Skill Retake? Daniel.
One Skill Retake, or OSR, is an option that allows you to retake just one of the 4 skills, listening, reading, writing, or speaking, after you've completed a full IELTS on computer test. The other 3 scores remain the same, and your overall band score is recalculated using the new score. It must be within 60 days of your original full test, and it's only for computer-based tests at centres that offer OSR.
Okay, pause there. 60 days, computer-based only, and only 1 skill. That's 3 critical limits listeners should remember. Right, Daniel?
Yes, and also important, you can use OSR only once per original full test. If you want another OSR opportunity, you first need to take a new full IELTS test.
Got it. Now, for our listeners, especially those with UK and US plans, where is OSR available? I know availability expanded by 2025-2026, but could you summarize the landscape without getting too technical?
Sure. OSR is available in many countries at selected British Council and IDP centres. The rollout has reached over 100 countries and keeps expanding. For the UK, OSR is available for IELTS academic and general training on computer, and in selected locations it's being offered for IELTS for UKVI on computer too. For the USA, there's an important caveat. OSR is currently not available for tests taken in the USA for academic and general training, according to British Council FAQs. So if you take your full test inside the USA, OSR likely won't be an option for that test.
That's a big thing to know. Thanks. Now, Daniel, listeners want to know who runs IELTS and how secure is OSR compared to the full test?
IELTS is jointly owned by the British Council, IDP IELTS, and Cambridge University Press and Assessment. OSR uses the same test platform, formats, security measures, scoring systems, and analytics as the full computer-based test. It's the same 9-band scale and the same marking standards, so institutions can be confident OSR is not an easier route.
Okay, quick reaction from me. I feel calmer already. But I know students get confused about eligibility, so let's slow down and run through the eligibility checklist carefully. Daniel, can you list the must-have conditions?
Absolutely. To be eligible for OSR, you must meet all of these. First, you must have completed a full IELTS test on computer. Paper tests are not eligible. Second, the test centre where you took your original test must offer OSR. Not all centres do. Third, you have to sit the OSR within 60 days of the original test date and typically in the same country as the original test. Fourth, you can only book OSR once per original full test. Also, if you have special requirements or need accommodations, you should contact your test centre directly to see if they can support OSR in your case.
That was clear. Listeners, write that down. Computer-based only. Centre must offer OSR within 60 days, same country, one chance per test. Repeat after me. Now, let's walk through an example timeline so people can picture it. I'll do a quick scenario and Daniel, you can add technical notes.
Imagine you took IELTS Academic on computer on March 1, 2026. A few days later, you get your scores: listening 8.0, reading 7.5, writing 6.0, speaking 7.0, overall 7.0. Your program needs overall 7.0 and minimum 6.5 each. You missed writing by 0.5. What happens next?
In that scenario, you would log into your IELTS test taker portal, look at the results page, and if OSR is available at your centre, you'd see a retake button next to writing. You click it, choose an available OSR writing date within 60 days of March 1, so before April 30, pay the OSR fee and sit only the writing test. Results typically come back in about 3 to 5 days. If your writing improves to 6.5, your TRF is updated. It will show the original 3 skills, the retaken writing score labelled as retake, and a recalculated overall band score. The OSR TRF is clearly marked as such.
And listeners, that recalculated overall band can move up depending on the new skill score and the IELTS rounding system. It's not magic, but it's powerful. Quick interjection. What if the new score is lower than before? Will the lower score be used?
Important question. The OSR produces a new TRF with the updated score and new overall band. The original TRF remains valid as well. In many cases, students can choose which TRF to send if the receiving institution accepts it, but some institutions may require the latest test or insist on scores from a single sitting. So before booking OSR, always check with your target university, sponsor or regulator to confirm their policy on OSR and which TRF they accept.
Listeners, that's why I always say, confirm first, then book. Daniel, let's talk format. Is the OSR skill identical in timing and tasks to the standard sections?
Yes, the format and timing of an OSR skill are exactly the same as that skill in the full IELTS test. So OSR listening uses the same 4 sections and question types. OSR reading uses the same kinds of passages and tasks. OSR writing replicates task 1 and task 2 for academic or general training as appropriate. And OSR speaking runs the same 3 parts in a one-to-one interview. The idea is to keep comparability and standardization intact.
Helpful. Now, many students are thinking, will universities and visa offices accept OSR? This is the heart of the episode for a lot of listeners. Let's break it down by UK, UKVI, and USA, Daniel.
OK, for universities and professional bodies, OSR results are sent electronically, just like regular IELTS results, and the TRF clearly shows a retake. Many UK universities have publicly confirmed they accept OSR, especially for academic entry, but policies differ. Some universities accept OSR the same as any IELTS result. Some require minimum band scores in each skill obtained in a single sitting, and therefore might not accept OSR. For UKVI, OSR is accepted in principle for computer-based IELTS in certain locations, including IELTS for UKVI on computer in selected locations. But you must check both UKVI policy and your sponsors or institution's specific rules. For the USA, acceptance is more varied. Many US universities accept IELTS generally, but OSR is new and each university needs to decide its own policy. Also, remember OSR is not available for tests taken in the USA, so that adds complexity for US-based test takers.
So, the bottom line, OSR is official and secure, but acceptance depends on the receiving body. You always need to double check. Daniel, do professional bodies like the NMC or GMC accept OSR yet?
Professional and regulatory bodies are starting to accept OSR, and some have updated guidance, but it's not automatic across the board. Regulators tend to be conservative, and change can be slow. For those applying to professional registers, nursing, medical, engineering, accounting, check the regulator's website for the latest policy or contact them directly. Don't assume acceptance.
Listeners, please write that down again. Check the regulator. Even if UKVI accepts OSR, your professional board might not. Okay, moving to booking. How do people book OSR in practice?
Most OSR bookings are done through the same online portal used for viewing your test results. Log in to the portal with the same credentials, go to Results, and if OSR is available, you'll see a Retake button next to the skill. Click it, choose an available date and time, probably in the same country and often the same or a nearby centre, complete payment, and then you'll receive a confirmation email. Always read the terms and conditions and the centre's instructions about arrival times and ID.
And about fees. Listeners always want numbers, but we must be careful. Daniel, can you summarize the fee situation without specific amounts?
Fees vary by country and test centre. OSR is generally cheaper than taking a full test, but it's still a significant fee. The best action is to check your local test centre's website or call them for the current OSR price. Don't assume it's always half. It depends on local pricing structures.
Good. Check local centers. Now let's do strategy. When is OSR a smart move? I want us to be practical and calm here because this is the audience's main worry, whether to click the retake button or book a full test.
Good. OSR is a good idea when you're close to your target in one skill. For example, you need 6.5 in each skill and you have 2 7s, an 8 and one 6.0. You're just half a band off. OSR is also useful if you're worried that a full retake could lower one of your strong skills. It's ideal if you have time inside the 60 days and the receiving institution accepts OSR. OSR is less suitable if multiple skills need improvement, if you need a big jump of more than about 1 band in the retaken skill, or if your institution does not accept OSR.
In short, use OSR when it's targeted and realistic. Don't use it when you need an overhaul. Okay, let's get tactical. If someone chooses writing OSR, what should they focus on in their 60-day window?
For writing, focus on the exam tasks, Task 1 and Task 2 for the test version you took. Practice planning quickly, practice under timing conditions, and get targeted feedback from a teacher or tutor. Work on paragraph structure, clear introductions and conclusions, linking devices, vocabulary variety, and grammar accuracy. Don't try to add unnecessary complexity that creates errors. Clarity and coherence matter a lot.
Also add practice 2 full writing sets under test conditions, get feedback, concentrate on common weaknesses like coherence and task response. For speaking, what then, Daniel?
For speaking, simulate the one-to-one interview frequently. Record yourself, practice part 2 with 1-minute planning and a 2-minute talk, and work on fluency and pronunciation. Practice part 3 longer responses with more analysis. Try to answer the question asked directly and avoid long trailing hesitations. Familiarity with common topics helps, but content depth and clear organization matter too.
And for listening or reading OSR, practice full sections. Focus on pacing, specific question types, and answer transfer accuracy. Spelling matters in listening when you type answers, so practice typing answers accurately under time pressure, right?
Exactly. For listening and reading, do many targeted practice tests, focus on time management and the question types that cost you marks.
OSR uses the same format, so practicing under exact conditions is critical.
We should also talk about the emotional side. I often tell students OSR is a lifeline, not shame. It's designed for people who had one poor day, not to allow routine retakes. Daniel, any words about mindset?
Yes, view OSR as a strategic, calm second chance. Use the 60 days intentionally, analyze your mistakes, set a focused plan, and avoid panicked last-minute cramming. Take care of sleep, nutrition, and small routines that help performance on test day. A calmer mind often performs better.
Listeners, a short real-life note from me. When I missed point 5 in writing years ago, I felt devastated. But I learned that targeted practice, not random writing, was the key. If OSR had existed then, I would have used it, planned properly, and saved time and money. Okay, Daniel, let's do a myth-busting rapid Q&A. I'll ask and you answer briefly. Ready?
Ready.
Q1. Will organizations be able to see that I used OSR?
Yes. The TRF and online results service explicitly show the retaken skill and label it clearly. It's visible to institutions and employers.
Q2. Is OSR easier than the normal test?
No, it's the same content, same difficulty, same scoring, same security.
No. It's the same skills with OSR, but no more than 2 skills.
No, only 1 skill per original full test.
Q4. Can I use OSR if I took a paper-based IELTS?
No, as of early 2026, OSR is only for computer-based tests taken at centres that offer it.
Q5. Can I do OSR if I moved countries after my original test?
Policy says you should sit OSR in the same country as your original test, so moving countries can complicate eligibility.
Q6. Does OSR change the 2-year validity rule?
No, OSR does not change standard IELTS validity, which is generally 2 years. Institutions may apply their own rules about which test date counts for validity.
Thanks. Now, I want to address a really practical listener question. If my OSR score goes down, can I still use my original TRF, which had the higher score?
Both TRFs remain valid. However, whether you can choose which to use depends on the receiving institution's policy. Some may accept the higher score from the original TRF, others may insist on the most recent test or all scores from one sitting. So ask the institution before you take OSR if you think the risk of a lower score is possible.
That's nuanced and important. Okay, a short interruption from me. Wow, this is a lot to take in, but it's good. Let's move to booking and cancellation rules briefly. Practical stuff people forget.
Book via the test portal. Choose your date, confirm payment. Cancellation and rescheduling policies usually follow standard IELTS rules, but they can vary for OSR, so read the terms during booking. Cancel early if needed to potentially get a partial refund. Cancel too late and you risk losing the fee.
Listeners, don't click retake in a panic. Check eligibility, check acceptance, prepare a plan, then book. Daniel, any tips on choosing whether to do OSR or full retake when multiple skills are borderline?
If multiple skills are below your target, OSR isn't the fix because it changes only 1 skill. A full re-prep and a full retest might be the wiser, longer-term solution. Also weigh time, finances, and application deadlines. If you have a tight deadline and 1 skill is really the blocker, OSR can be the quick fix. If your weaknesses are broader, invest in the full plan.
Perfect. Now, let's talk country-specific strategy for listeners aiming at the UK versus the USA. Daniel?
For the UK, many universities accept OSR, especially for academic routes, and UKVI has confirmed acceptance in selected locations for computer-based tests, including some IELTS for UKVI. But policies still vary, so check the course page or admissions office. For professional registration in the UK, check the regulator's official guidance. For the USA, acceptance is less standardized. Some universities will accept OSR, others may not have policies yet, and OSR is not available for tests taken inside the USA. So if you plan to apply to US institutions, check each university's international admissions policy and ask explicitly whether they accept OSR TRFs.
And listeners who took their original test in the USA, OSR probably won't help you for that test. You may need to take a full test again if you need to raise a score.
Correct.
Okay, near the end now, let's look a bit towards the future. Where might OSR go after 2026? Daniel.
We can expect more centres to offer OSR, more institutions to explicitly update their policies, and more test takers to know about OSR as a planned backup. Over time, options like OSR could become a standard expectation across large language tests, but students should not treat OSR as a shortcut. It's a safety net.
Good. Use it as a safety net, not a routine. One last practical wrap-up, a checklist for anyone thinking about OSR. Daniel, can you give us 4 to 6 action items?
Sure. 1. Confirm eligibility. Computer-based test, centre offers OSR within 60 days. 2. Check the receiving institution's policy, admissions, visa sponsor or regulator. 3. Decide realistically if the score gap is bridgeable in one focused attempt. 4. Make a focused 60-day study plan for that one skill and simulate test conditions. 5. Book via your results portal, read terms and plan logistics. 6. Stay calm, rest well before the test.
Beautiful. Listeners, that's a great practical list. Before we close, Daniel, is there any final reassuring thought you want to give a stressed student listening right now?
Yes, One Skill Retake exists because the system recognizes that a single weak performance shouldn't derail your plans. It's an official, secure and fair option. Use it thoughtfully, verify acceptance and treat it like a controlled second chance. You're not failing, you're being strategic.
Thank you. And from me, if you're listening and your heart sank when you saw that low band, breathe. Make a plan, check OSR eligibility, email the admissions office, and if everything aligns, use this second chance with calm focus. You can do this. Okay, quick rapid-fire close. 1-sentence tips. Daniel, 1 sentence.
Check eligibility, check acceptance, and prepare a focused plan for the skill you retake.
My 1 sentence? Don't panic, verify, then act. All right. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you everyone for listening. If you found this useful, please share it with a friend who's nervous about a single low score. We'll include links to official IELTS and British Council OSR pages in the episode notes so you can read the latest details. Until next time, sleep well, prepare calmly, and remember, one low score doesn't define your future. Bye!
Bye everyone. Good luck and check those policies.